Hey guys, Scott here, and today I want to talk about the whole endurance meta that everyone is freaking out on Twitter and Reddit and forums about. And for the record, I think people freaking out about this stuff, it's good. It means something interesting has happened to the game, and that's what I've been suggesting. These little meta shakeups, for 4 years, 5 years straight. This is what happens. People actually become interested and they want to have discussions about the game, which I think is the best part. A community that constantly argues with each other means that they care enough about the game to warrant having an argument about it. So I don't see arguments about these balance things as bad. I see that as interest in the game, which is great. And before we go further, I realize people have a 5-second attention span before they start commenting on YouTube. So let me just say, I do think off the record and like endurance stacking is probably a little overtuned. Off the record needs to be disabled at endgame. There's no reason DS would be disabled in any game, but off the record wouldn't. They functionally have kind of the same purpose. So I don't understand why you would do that. Just make it disabled at endgame and just make it so multiple endurance effects don't stack. That's pretty much all you have to do to fix these issues. Not a big deal. It would take very little time to fix, and I have a feeling that's probably what they're going to do. Regardless, I want to talk about how bad this whole endurance meta is for the game. I don't think it's bad at all. I think a lot of this is extremely overstated, and a lot of the scenarios that you're seeing are frankly completely unrealistic in a normal game. How many times have you seen a clip on Twitter of someone taking 5 hits in a row on the PTB and like going, "Oh, this is it. Survivors have 5 health states now. This is the future you want of behavior." And then you look at the actual context of the clip. They have off the record, they've gotten Medal of Man stacks. They've got, you can do this right now on live servers, by the way. If you want to take 5 hits, take 1 hit, take another hit, take a Medal of Man hit, take a styptic hit, go down. That's 5 hits to go down. You can do that right now. Actually, you can throw Dead Hard in there if you count that as a missed hit and make it 6 hits if you dodge that. You can do that right now. Nothing is stopping you from doing that. The thing is, people don't want to do that because the amount of effort it takes to set that scenario up ends up losing you the game a lot of the time. If you've ever used Medal of Man, you have probably realized that it's one of the perks that makes you lose games quite a bit. Because to get it to even proc, you need to be in the killer's face, tanking multiple hits to even get it to work to begin with. So if people want to start using Medal of Man now, and they just want to not do gens and just body block for each other, fucking do it, please. I run Save the Best for Last too, so I'm just getting multiple stacks. I'm happy. You guys aren't doing gens. We're all doing chases. It's the most fun part of the game. I think all this is okay. I'm very much okay with that. Anything that stops survivors from just doing gens very fast, I think is a good thing. And so when you look at all these scenarios on Twitter and stuff like that, look at the amount of gens done in all of these clips. It's always 0. Every time you see these clips of people tanking 5 hits, no one's doing generators. Now, I get it's the PTB and people aren't really interested in doing gens, but the point is to get these scenarios to happen, you need to invest a significant amount to get that to happen. And you can already do that right now. And a lot of these things, it's like, okay, off the record, yes, it's going to be an annoying perk. I agree. It's going to be very, very strong. We're going to have to worry about that for sure. But then you have okay, so we have that, and then, okay, well, then we have Medal of Man, but getting Medal of Man to proc is not easy. It means you're not doing gens. And then, okay, well, then you have to swing into the Dead Hard to give you another endurance hit, which, just don't fucking swing into Dead Hard. It's not that difficult. And it's not like a whole Dead Harding for distance thing here, where it wouldn't matter. If they were going to Dead Hard and get to a pallet regardless, you weren't going to down them anyway. It doesn't actually matter. It's not giving them an additional hit that wasn't already previously a way that they can avoid damage. It's just basically what old Dead Hard would do. So a lot of these scenarios that I'm seeing on Twitter are just scenarios that the killer is not actually suffering that much from. And I think that's the thing we need to focus on. Yes, it's very easy to get caught up in the sensationalized clip. And yes, it is disconcerting watching a survivor tank 5 hits. But like I said, you can already do that right now. You just don't see clips of it because in order to set that up, it's typically not worth it. I firmly believe, as much as survivors want to get chased by the killer and they want to style on the killer and stuff like that, people still want to win. They still want to finish the generators. That's still going to be their primary driving force. And it's why if they die, they're more upset. Even if they ran the killer, it still sucks not winning the match because you didn't do all the generators. So anything that makes people not do generators and engage in more chases, I think is fine. And I know people have brought up another example, okay, off the record, body blocking, for example, like that. But think about even that scenario. So off the record activates when you get off the hook, which means the person that the killer is trying to hook that you're body blocking for is not you. It's got to be another person. And if you have off the record active to tank a hit, it means you've been doing nothing the entire time until the killer has decided to hook somebody else. So even in that scenario, and all it does is give you one body block hit for you in exchange for you doing nothing for the entire time it takes the killer to down and begin to hook another survivor. So when you start looking at these scenarios like this, it's not nearly as bad as people are making it out to be. And I think that's the part we need to focus on. And the fact that it's basically incentivizing survivors to be more in the killer's face and less working on generators, I say I'm all for that. Bring it. That's great. I want that to happen. I want to have more of an interaction with players. The worst matches in this game are on rotten fields when I see 2 survivors the entire match and all the gens are just done. Those are the worst. I want teams to try to bully me and body block me and do all this stuff. That's where the interaction is. That's where the gameplay is. That's where, I main Demogorgon with save the best for last. Please try to take hits. Please body block. In like all these games, I was getting so many stacks of save the best for last so quickly because everyone just body blocking hits. And I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more save the best for last once this patch hits, which will make this endurance meta not nearly as scary because now there's the giant reward for the killer. If you want to give him a bunch of endurance hits, he's going to get 8 stacks to save the best for last. And frankly, your endurance hits are not going to matter once he's at 8 stacks. So I think save the best for last is a huge counter to this entire meta. And the meta itself counters itself because people are likely not going to be focusing on gens as much if they're trying to get Metal a Man and set up all these body blocks and stuff like that. So with all of that, I think this is not going to be nearly as big of a problem as people think it is. I think it's going to seem like it because the scenarios that do happen where you do hit a survivor 4 times and they don't go down, you're going to focus on that and not realize you probably actually won that match. Or if you didn't win that match, you won 15 other matches because survivors kept trying to do that and they couldn't finish the gens in time. So I think if you try to look at it, take a step back and look at it objectively, it's going to actually probably not do anything in terms of you winning the match. It just may feel like you're having a more visceral interaction with survivors, which I see as a good thing. So that's pretty much it. I just want to talk about that for a bit. Curious to hear what you guys think about it. I do think, again, off the record is a little overtuned and endurance stacking probably should not be a thing. But other than that, I'm not really worried about it. I could be biased because I do play Demogorgon with save the best for last. So me getting free stacks all day is great. But maybe you don't play a killer that can get stacks very easily. So I can understand being a bit more concerned about it. But yeah, curious to hear what you guys think. That's it. Thanks for watching.